Panagariya, that now is the time for India to maybe think of a scheme like an urban Manrega, or something that will spur consumption, that will help, that will essentially just give that feel good factor? Or do you think that India is in a very safe position and the government does not need to resort to such populist measures?
Yeah, I mean, quite the contrary. We need to get back to fiscal consolidation. And that, of course, means restraining actually government expenditure rather than stimulating it further. The consumption demand is returning as far as I can see. The data are showing that. Investment demand, by the way, is also very robust. Now, we have seen the investment as a proportion of GDP rising, very clearly rising trend over the last several quarters. Current level is about 34.5%, so that's fantastic. So no, I would actually not recommend the government kind of trying to raise more expenditures, and certainly not an urban Manrega. My goodness, that's a permanent program. As you can see, Manrega got started. The normal philosophy of these things is that whenever there is drought, you do these kinds of programs. But we have made it a permanent program, and that is not a good use of the resources that get taken out of the economy. I think, if you want to give, if on poverty alleviation reasons, if we needed to give, we should have had simple cash transfers so that the people go and use their labor on productive activities rather than these unproductive public projects, So certainly, we need to be restrained. But let me also say that since you raised the question of the budget itself, it is time for us to also fix up the personal income taxation system, simplify that quite considerably. Very much, like what we have done for the corporate profit taxes, we need to end all the exemptions, or most of the exemptions anyway, and simplify the system. It doesn't matter, if revenue is an issue, they can start out with 4 or 5 tax rates. Today you can make the tax tables, the computers do the tax calculation and so forth. So the kind of a reason that used to exist for having only 2 rates or 3 rates in the past is no longer true, in my opinion. The computers can do all the calculations once you have simplified how to calculate the taxable income itself. So I think that needs to be done. A higher education reform, which has been pending for 2 to 3 years, needs to be brought back to life also. And I think, we also need to put back the privatization of public sector banks on the budget again. Yet, this should happen. It should be on the government's agenda. And likewise, the privatization of public sector enterprises, for which there is a policy now, for both banks as well as the public sector enterprises in general. There is now a policy in place which was brought out by the government itself now, which separates out the strategic sectors from non-strategic ones and all. So I think all this agenda needs to be pursued, because we are in a good position right now. Economy is growing. Given everything that we know today, I have no doubt that we will continue to grow at 7% plus, but we can do better. And we should also, continue with our free trade agreement negotiations. Ultimate goal ought to be to finish within 2 years some sort of agreement with the European Union as well.